38 million Americans that smoke, and I want to tell you about my experience switching to Juul. I used to smoke cigars. I smoked them regularly. I even inhaled them at times. Not good. Everyone in my family growing up, they all smoked. And now that I've made the switch to Juul, guess what? I have found the best alternative ever. Now, Juul is designed with smokers in mind in terms of its form, technology. It's simple to use, no buttons, no switches. It is the satisfying alternative now for 1 in 8 American adults who like nicotine, like me. Now, to discover the smoking alternative that's nothing like any e-cig or vape you've ever tried, just go to Juul.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. And learn more information at JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica.
National headlines, Georgia State news and sports, and the local stories you care about. News Talk 1330 WLBB, Carrollton.
Good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I am Holly Presnell. I'm representing WLBB News Talk AM 1330 this morning. I'm excited to be here. I have a special guest with me in the house to share some information about some local community opportunities for business owners or just the community at large, just to keep you aware and informed about things that are happening in your back door. I have J.R. Charles here with me from the Chamber. He is the Vice President of Economic Development. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Holly. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I'm still trying to wake up. I think I need a second cup of coffee. I don't know about you.
Let's get that coffee in here, guys.
I don't know where my assistant is, but they need to get at it. Tell me a little bit. I was telling him off the air that I haven't really had the opportunity to talk to you in depth, one-on-one. I know a little bit about what it is that you guys do over at the Chamber, of course, because I am a Chamber board member and also an ambassador of the Chamber. But I didn't know exactly what it is that you do over there in detail. And then also I felt like it would be a good opportunity for us just to enlighten the community.
Yeah. Let's get to know one another.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, okay. So I'm originally from deep South Georgia, but not originally. I grew up in deep South Georgia. I'm originally born in Decatur.
Deep South, what does that mean?
Coffee County, Douglas, Georgia. It's an hour from the Florida border. Like, we are dangerously close to the Florida line.
Is that near Bainbridge at all?
So Bainbridge is on the west side of the state.
Okay.
So if you went down into where...
Look, I'm being completely transparent that I have no sense of direction here.
Are you from Georgia? Are you originally from Georgia?
Yes.
You are? Where'd you... let me turn tables here. Where are you from?
I'm a native, so...
Okay,
but go ahead and tell me a little bit more about...
All right, so grew up in Coffee County, Douglas, Georgia. If you look at Georgia and you looked at the split where 16 goes to Savannah and 75 keeps going to Florida, we are like an hour from either one of those in the southeast part of the state. That's where Coffee County is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And so then you relocated to Decatur, and then how did you
before that
come to... this area?
Born in Decatur.
Okay.
Born in Decatur, and then my dad wanted to be a doctor, so he went to medical school. So he moved to West Virginia, then to Virginia for internship, then Pennsylvania for another internship, then Michigan for a residency, and then down to Coffee County for his full-time real practice. And so that's where we grew up. I moved there at the age of 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moved around a lot. Moved on average every 2 years until I was 10 years old.
But that makes you real versed at just being able to make friends and adapt quickly, I guess.
And read a map really well.
Maybe I need to move around more, huh? So tell me a little bit more. Obviously, you have some knowledge of what it means to relocate and dedicate yourself to something like your dad.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about how you came to be in this particular position, because that's quite a stint from West Virginia to Decatur. I mean, from Decatur to West Virginia to Coffee County.
Yeah. So I grew up in Coffee County and then went to University of Georgia. Actually, majored in journalism.
UGA.
Yeah.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Can I get a Go Dogs on my Facebook page? All my UGA people. So went to UGA.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. We're actually live on Facebook, so please tune in, give us a shout out. And, you know,
let's
or
look and see. Is anybody on there talking to us? It's News Talk.
someone that may be
13:30.
frustrated with the fact that we just gave a shout out to the dogs if they're a jello.
Wow. We can love each other other than one day a year. 364 days a year, we have love.
Amen.
One day we don't.
All right, so
anyway,
UGA.
went to journalism school, majored that, and got out right when YouTube launched, right when Facebook went live. So I knew the writing was on the wall as far as like traditional journalism.
Okay.
So moved back home to Coffee County, got a job working as a public relations specialist at the local college there. And the lady who was running the chamber in Douglas, who had known me since I was like knee high to a grasshopper.
Okay,
right?
love the terminology.
I
True
got through.
Southern slang there.
So she said, I've got a job open at the chamber. I need somebody to come in and do marketing for me. I need someone to do this whole Facebook thing. I have no idea what's going on over there.
Okay.
So came on board, did her public relations, but learned about all the economic development, the project management, the nuts and bolts of what a chamber as an economic development organization does. So did that for 2.5 years, got called to Upson County by their development authority and moved there for 1.5 years.
Okay.
My then girlfriend, now wife, was looking at making a
Yay.
move too. Yeah. Followed the heart, guys. Follow
I've
the heart.
seen her. She's a catch, JR.
She's good. She's good. I approve. So anyway, she said, I want to move to Georgia, but we need to find some place to, we can both get a job. So there was a chamber position open in White County, Georgia, and there's an economic development position in Habersham, which were two counties side by side.
Okay.
So she got the White County job, and I got the Habersham job.
Oh, wow.
And so we got together, got married, and then moved to Oconee County.
It was a union destined to be.
It was. Stayed there for 3.5 years, built an industrial park from the ground up, and then moved to Oconee County, where we did retail development for 3 years, focusing on getting their retail sector strengthened. And then Daniel Jackson, who I had known since 2012, 2011, we had been friends. We see each other at our professional associations, and we see each other at chamber events. And so he said, hey, I know you. I like you. You'd be a great fit. I've got this job open. Let's sit down and talk. And so over a course of a couple of months, we talked, and it seemed like a right fit. So we moved over here, actually a year ago this month.
Yeah, I heard you mention the other day at an event that it was your anniversary. So happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And I know you mentioned Daniel Jackson. I would be surprised if someone did not know who Daniel Jackson is. I have to give him a shout out. He is the man that has knowledge at his fingertips about everything happening in Carroll County. But I'm so glad that you guys had the opportunity to meet one another because, it sounds like you've done some awesome things. And I know from my interactions with you in my real job as the career center manager over at the Goodwill, economic development, as you said, it's not only the nuts and bolts, it's the backbone of the community. And so I'm excited to see what's what we're looking forward to in our community, as well as what you've been able to accomplish so far.
Yeah.
And so given that, though, in the case that there are some people that may not know who Daniel Jackson is or know the components of the chamber, do you mind sharing with us a little bit about what the chamber is? Because I know we've used a lot of terminology that you and I are familiar with as far as like economic development, the chamber, workforce.
Yeah.
But what does that mean to the general public, and what is the chamber?
Yeah. So the chamber is 65 years old. And so we're actually going to be planning, and I'm not going to steal too much thunder because I want Ryan Owenby, our director of member engagement, I want her to come on the show and talk about this.
She's a sweetheart,
She's
too.
great. She's great. So anyway, we're turning 65, and up until 2001, it was a traditional chamber. And then come 2001, the group Carroll Tomorrow was formed. And so the partnership was kind of formed between the chamber and Carroll Tomorrow, to where Carroll Tomorrow would manage the chamber and it would become an economic development organization on top of doing all the other member services that you do, your sunrise seminars and your membership engagements and your educational summit, all that other good stuff. But Carroll Tomorrow,
The things that are some of the benefits of being a chamber member, which we'll get to in just a little bit.
Which there are many, and they are very, very valuable. Don't want to diminish that. But the economic development side is really important because ever since 2001, Carroll Tomorrow, in partnership with the city, the county, all of our municipal partners, we've been able to recruit $1.4 billion of investment into Carroll County, 9,000 jobs. That turns out to be about $33 million in extra payroll over those 20 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And it's funneled back in most of the time if someone is local. So
That's right. That's right. And there are a whole lot of things we can get to about the economic side of it. In fact, we need to get Joey Smith. Joey Smith needs to be your guest on the show, too.
All right. Well, thank you for all these tips.
I'm going to line up your guest
I'm
list
going to
for
hire
you.
you as my personal assistant. Just add that to your full VITA.
No, that's okay. I'm okay with that. So anyway, that's what Carroll Tomorrow essentially is. It's an economic development organization of trying to recruit new jobs, retain the ones we have, and help our existing industries grow over time.
Can I get you to take a pause for me for just a moment? We're going to break away to our sponsor, which is Tanner Health System, and we'll come right back and further discuss what the chamber is and some of the advantages of being part of that. So thank you, JR, for sharing, and we'll be right back.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org. or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
Okay, well, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again. We have J.R. Charles, those of you that are tuning in just now, from the Carroll County Chamber. He is the Vice President of Economic Development, and he was just sharing with us a moment ago what the chamber is for the local community that may not have a full understanding of how the chamber operates and what that looks like. So he was explaining that to us, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the advantages of being a chamber member. Mm-hmm. So will you go back to what you were saying in, as far as the different components? Because when we broke away, or when we took that break, you were talking about the Carroll Tomorrow branch and the different components and the individuals and what they do there. So can you revisit some of that and just highlight the different components for us?
Absolutely. So again, the chamber is turning 65 years old, 65-year-old Chamber of Commerce. Great legacy of supporting the community. Very good history. Daniel needs to come back on the show and talk about the chamber side of things. But Carroll Tomorrow essentially is the manager of the Chamber of Commerce. And so there are two divisions to the chamber. There's the Carroll Tomorrow side of the house, which is economic development, job recruitment, retention, all that kind of stuff. And the chamber that does the programming. And I have with me my handy-dandy smartphone here. I need to cheat, guys.
How did we ever survive without that?
Or stay sane, one or the other, right?
Or become insane with those.
Yeah, right. So anyway, the benefit of being part of the chamber is you are being a partner in that effort to recruit new jobs and recruit new investment to the community, because your membership dollars go toward that mission. Right? Mm-hmm. But there are other benefits that go along with it too. For example, we have a lot of networking opportunities. Business-to-business relationships are important. The old saying is, you don't buy a product, you buy from a friend.
Right. It's about who you know. It truly is. And I know from experience, the networking opportunities really are a true advantage. And I know you have that pulled up, so...
You want to run with it?
Yeah, please do.
So we're actually hosting, in the not-too-distant future, a Chamber 101 event. So people who are new to the Chamber, who have recently joined, or if you're interested in learning more about it, becoming a prospect.
I was going to say, Susie mentioned that at a local event recently about if someone is interested about finding out more about what it involves, that somebody could join that particular meeting, the Chamber 101, or take part, not join, but take part in that meeting to find out if it seems like it would be a good fit.
Yeah, and so here's advertisement for the chamber, right? Thank you, Tanner Health System, for letting us sponsor ourselves.
Amen.
But 678-890 2360 is Susie McCorkle's direct line. If you are interested in being a part of that Chamber 101 to learn more about the Chamber, that is your plug in that direction. But there are a million other things too. We have a Women's Business Alliance. So women who are leaders in the business and in the community, they get together, if not monthly, then quarterly.
Yeah,
to get together
I've
and talk.
actually taken part of that,
Yeah.
but I've been so busy lately that I haven't had opportunity. I need to get back into
Busy women ruling the world.
Get back into the flow of things.
Yeah.
I forgot my cape this morning, but it's all good.
It's all right. We have a leadership academy, so companies who want to grow their in-house staff to learn more about what it means to be plugged into the community. Our leadership academy is available. We have leadership breakfast, or we call Forward Carroll breakfasts.
I have a funny story for you.
I wanna hear
If
a funny
Susie's
story.
listening this morning, she'll appreciate this. We broke her in really good. I was one of the first members to go through the Leadership Academy.
Oh.
And so I can advocate for that. Some of the best people that I have maintained friendship with in our community took part in that leadership group with me, and we've just grown in our friendship. One of those, I'll have to give a shout out to Derek Newton and then Jacqueline Doss. But we were one of the first groups to take part, and we stayed overnight at Banny Mill.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know what happened, but after we took part in that, they stopped the overnights.
Y'all broke the mold on
We
that
broke the mold. And poor Susie, it was their first go around. She was like, oh my goodness. I think she just didn't know what to do with all of us. But it was a fabulous time. Yeah. So the Leadership Academy, the Chamber 101, tremendous opportunities for someone that is wanting to get like keyed into and have opportunity to network and grow their business, like you said.
Yes.
What are some other advantages?
Yeah. Well, the way to get plugged into being a leader advocate is through the Chamber of Commerce. We do a lot of things by, for example, we have Carroll County Day at the state capitol. Well, we'll take a delegation up to the state capitol, and we'll talk to our legislator delegations, so the Jay Collins, the Randy Nix, Mike Dugan, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll ask them, like, what your policy is toward, for example, rural broadband, or what are going to be the changes in education funding. And so we'll take in information, but then there are also some of us who go and we seek out more of the influential members of the General Assembly, and we'll say, hey, you need to talk about rural broadband, or hey, we need to have extra funding in the dual enrollment program.
So basically you become a voice for our community and make it in their, not in their face, but just to highlight it and make sure that they're aware. Because sometimes people have it in the back of their mind, but until it's in their face,
right? Exactly.
They may not know to really advocate for it the way that it needs to be.
Right. And education, I know that's near and dear to your heart for workforce training. You know, one of the things that we're seeing in the community that we are actively trying to work is workforce development. The Chamber of Commerce has part of the work plan to train up or help train up the next generation of workers. The latest unemployment rate that just came out for our region, the Three Rivers region, and in the pseudo political terminology, is 3.1%.
I know.
Unemployment. I mean, you are,
which is amazing, but it's also very challenging for someone that does what I do.
Oh yeah.
As a career center manager, I'm trying to link people that are job seekers to employment opportunities, as well as working with businesses to help post jobs and do recruitment for them. So it's hand in hand. But I mean, you tell me if this has been your experience, and I've heard this over and over again as being part of the workforce development group, that we are seeing an increase in the number of job opportunities or skilled labor workforce, and not having that supply to meet the demand.
You're absolutely right. So everywhere I go.
And so that's why the education component is so important, so that we can hopefully instill the importance of getting that skilled labor in place, so that we have that pipeline.
Yes, that talent pipeline.
Yeah.
So let's take it up at the top level first.
Okay.
So at the business level, every company that I talk to, they want to expand, they want to grow, they want to hire more people. There's a company that may have 30 job openings over here, or they need 10 skilled technicians, or they are getting ready to open up a new line on the factory, but they can't find the people to come in.
Right.
And part of that is because, and this is getting into a little deeper territory on
into
the
the
economics.
weeds.
Yeah, a little bit. But there are some companies who they offer the job to the person, and then they'll come and they'll look around Carroll County, and they can't find a place to live that they can afford on that side of the equation. So, not affordable housing. We're not gonna,
yes. Look,
yeah.
we are on the. This is a little bit of like Holly info, but just trying to figure out what we want to do. Like, do
you
we
personally?
Like as far as, do we want to put our house on the market? Do we want to find something else? And that's one of the challenges that we've run into.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
Right. You'll ask any realtor, and they'll say that the time is tight. I mean, the supply is tight. On any kind of housing they have. And
it is a seller's market. Though,
it is a seller's market. And then if you sell your house, right? Where are you going to go to find a price that you can pay for?
So that is key, though, bringing in the right type of individuals for the industry. But we'll come back to that in just a moment. Yes. We're going to take another break. I feel like we've had some great conversation, and we're going to break away to our sponsor, Tanner Health System, and we'll come right back and further discuss economic development and just happenings in the Carroll County community. Thank you so much.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org. or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
Welcome back to the Community Voice with J.R. Charles, the Vice President Economic Development. He is joining us today from the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce. As we broke away just a moment ago, we were talking about economic development and basically the fact that it's the backbone of. Sorry.
We got our Facebook Live going.
Look, that's a class that I need to attend. But going back to what you were saying earlier about the economic development and it being the backbone of not only workforce, but just the community as a whole. So we were talking about affordable housing. We were talking about having the right supply to meet the demand. And so and we were highlighting workforce development. So let's talk a little bit more about the importance of education, because I know there is a educational summit that's coming up.
Yes.
And so I want to be able to highlight that and encourage people to take part. If they need further information, they can contact us. If you want to reach out to the radio station, the number here is 678-601-8255, just for general information about possibly the radio show itself or ad spots. But let's talk about this educational summit and economic development. I know and I see that you're looking at your phone there. I believe, I don't have it in front of me. Is it July 18th?
Yes, it's Thursday, July 18th.
Okay.
Yeah. And give a shout out to Donna Lackey.
Yes.
She is at University of West Georgia. She used to be on our staff at the chamber. Miss her.
Miss her, but at least she's still close enough by that we can be like, Donna.
Yeah, I call her up every day. I'm like, Donna, please help me.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's great. She's great. So anyway, Donna is leading this, what they call the Carroll County Education Collaborative. And what the Education Collaborative, its mission is to try to get every child who graduates high school to enroll, enlist, or be employed by the time they leave high school, or at least have the plan in place to do that. And this is the third year that they're hosting this summit. And what we're trying to do is the first part was trying to get educators together, right? Create that pipeline to go from high school into higher education or into one of those other enlistment or employment and enrollment. This year, we're trying to bring in business community leaders that can come in and say, okay, that's great, we're developing this pipeline. Here's now what we can bring to the table.
And this is what we need.
This is what we need. Exactly. So I'm actually leading a panel with HR managers, plant managers, and educators to talk about how we can try to create German-style apprenticeships or externships in manufacturing facilities, or there's already a work placement program in the school system.
Yeah, you know what, though, that I'm really surprised about still that I've seen is that the number of people that haven't had true work experience before even graduating college,
right,
and not even exposing themselves to a volunteer opportunity or internship. So I mean, those types of things are essential not only for networking, but just getting the fundamentals and skills down so that you have something to put on a resume.
Sure, absolutely. Oh, look, I was pushing buggies at Winn-Dixie at 16. Let me tell you,
Look,
I understand.
I'm the bad guy right now. I have a 16-year-old that I'm trying to get employed, and he thinks I'm trying to ruin his life, but he doesn't understand. I'm really trying to instill those.
You need to build that resume, kid.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, and there are a lot of laws that prevent going into like a manufacturing setting, right? You have to be 18, right? Because insurance doesn't cover anybody under the age of 18. So those are legitimate, difficult challenges. But Southwire found the way to do it is to have a safe work environment through their 12 for Life program.
Right.
And shout out to Southwire for
and Elena Schalenberg for heading that up.
Yep. She's doing
it's an amazing program.
So what that model is being replicated across the state, and even it's being studied across the United States for a way to have kids who want to get into a career path, need to get motivated to stay in school, and it's a good hybrid mechanism to do that. And there's another guest for you, right?
Yeah.
On the show, talk about 12 for Life.
Well, and Jill Duncan also headed up, from what I understand, helping to put something in place for the U Science, so that kids not only will understand, because one of the goals of workforce development, you can help back me up here with the collaborative, is to help inform the youth about opportunities that are out there, but also help them to figure out what it is that they may be naturally inclined to do, and help them to further grow those skills and be able to implement some of those skills so that they are better suited to go into that.
Yeah. Well, let's back up to U Science.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought up U Science.
And we've just got a few minutes, so tell me real quick, and then
we got to go.
Yeah.
U Science is a test that every high schooler takes that talks about their aptitude and their enthusiasm, and places like Georgia Power are mining that data to identify talent. So if other industries want to do that too, I think that's a great way to find your talent at a young high school age.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So the other thing that I just want to wrap up with for us to go back to is, obviously we've talked about the advantages from the networking to the subgroups that are part of the chamber. The other advantages that I think that we highlighted to some degree are taking part in the 101s or the Rise and Shines. But I know for me, there's a calendar of events that can help you to promote things, as well as a chamber newsletter that goes out. So can we talk just briefly so that we can end the show with some highlights for business owners or for community members that may not be a member of the chamber but may want to consider being part of that?
Sure.
The advantages of that platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to get more information about joining the chamber, our telephone number, look at me with my cell phone.
Call in personally.
Yeah. 770-832-2446, or you can always go to our website, carroll-ga.org, and ask for Susie McCorkle, and she'll get you plugged in on that one. But you're right. There's so many ways to get plugged in. It doesn't matter if you're not interested in workforce development or economic development. If you want to have a voice in the community, really it's the forum for bringing all these voices together to make a change in our community.
Yeah.
And that's the big benefit. You can go to education seminars, you can get plugged in with the Women's Alliance, join our leadership group, come to our chamber lunches, be on the board, have a presence with us. But no matter where you fall in line inside the Chamber of Commerce, there's a place for you. And there's a way for you to get involved, get active, and make a difference. And that's really what the chamber is all about.
Wow, that sounds like an ad campaign right there. I love it. The other thing that I want to mention before we wrap up is the fact that we were talking about the Educational Collaborative. Did we mention, help me remember, because I'm kind of a little bit all over the place.
Yeah,
exactly. Because I'm so excited that you're here and sharing this information. how they can get further information or enroll in the educational collaborative. Do you have, or the summit?
The summit,
say.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest thing to do is to Google
Yeah.
University of West Georgia Education Collaborative. I know that's a mouthful, but if you do, maybe even better, if you do UWG CCEC Summit, that'd be the way to do it. I would pull up the URL and all that stuff.
And I think I'm going to send it out to community partners too. I sent it out once before, but I received something personally, and I just want to. I just think it's essential, especially with us branching off to not only look at the educational side of things, but the collaboration between that and business, which is what we're aiming for, is making sure that they're aware.
I think so.
That they can get keyed into this, and so I'll definitely put something out there from my end.
Maybe WLBB will do a community feature on that one. Yeah,
maybe. Or we can. I'll have information too at the Goodwill.
Yeah.
And so you also highlight Business of the Month, which we're going to be highlighted tomorrow. So, but I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully hear from you guys that are out in the community, and hopefully you'll take advantage of taking part of what we have to offer from the chamber and just be active in our community. So thank you so much for joining me today, JR.
Yeah, thank you, Holly.
I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you, West Georgia area.